Hey guys, today's Thursday, March 27th. It's day 9 since I started on the 19th on my mission to drop 54 pounds by my 54th birthday in November 19th. And so I'm just gonna show you how I'm warming up again on my shoulder injury on my right side. If you looked at the earlier videos, I was using the resistance band to pull apart, which has done a wonderful job with my shoulders. The second exercise I like to use is some very light resistance bands pulling externally, rotating upwards. That is where I feel the most pain in my shoulders on my right side. And funny enough that over time it just started happening on my left as well too. So this has really helped out a lot as well. And I guess wanted to let you see a little bit of what I'm doing here. I'll pull it up, hold it for 5 seconds. I'll do about a set of 10 of these, or 3 sets of 10 of these. And then it usually gets my shoulder feeling much better. Now this movement itself is when I feel the most pain in my shoulder. And I tell you, when I first started doing these about 2 months ago, it was so excruciating that it was just painful. I couldn't even get it up this high, but it's come a long way. And that's not really doing it every single day. I was probably doing this maybe once every 3 days or so because I just get so busy. But it's a great exercise. I'm finishing up my last set of this for today before I do the workout. And even though I don't have a lot of strength in this pull still, at least I don't have the pain. It just feels like really stiff. But I tell you, the improvement is night and day. And you want to get the lightest resistance band. Some people, I know, I have a couple of physical therapists that I train. They like to use the elastic bands in this one, which are almost like towels. They're really, really thin. And that way you can get more movement on them, and they're great. I just don't have them. So I have these ones. And that's the last set that I was doing on that one. Things are going good. We're on day 9. I've dropped a couple pounds. Obviously, it's going to probably be, water weight and such. My diet hasn't been perfect. I've been kind of just tweaking things here and there. Yesterday I had an El Pollo Loco bowl, and I had that after my workout. So in that case, I'm good with the rice, I'm good with the beans. I had the double pollo, so I had extra chicken. And I'm gonna kind of put together an idea so that you can see of what I'm eating, so that when you're joining this mission with me, you get an idea of what's going on. And I am gonna shoot something this week. We're going into our 2nd week, so that you guys can have an idea of, hey, how to set up your foods and stuff like that as well too. And then, like I mentioned before, I'm gonna do some Q&A, so I can answer questions for you as well too. After doing this for 26 years, training people, everything from moms and dads, getting back into shape, to young athletic men and women going into college for D1 sports, then to actors getting ready for movies and film. So I'll hold these Q&As on YouTube, and that way it can help you guys out, give you some free advice, and get you on your journey back into shape or getting into shape for the first time. So I did my warm-up. That was the finishing of it, and then we're gonna go do our workout. Right now, the full body. We're still doing full body for the first 2 weeks before I start to split up body parts, all right? Okay, come on. Okay, guys, I'm starting off with a superset of some pull downs for upper back, secondary muscles, biceps, some shoulders, and then we're gonna be doing some leg presses over here, and I really wanna work on bringing back my knee health. Luckily enough, like I'd mentioned before, I've never had any serious knee problems, which is a miracle of all the years of doing Muay Thai, kickboxing style, Kali, stick fighting, boxing, and just overall life, working out, squatting, leg presses, all that stuff. I've never injured my knees, and God, I'm thankful for that. I'd rather deal with a shoulder injury than the knees. I think the only thing I would fear more is if I got a hernia or low back injury. A slip disc is probably the one thing I never would want to ever do. Funny enough, mentioning that, I was in my 40s, and I forgot exactly when, but I think I was 48, maybe 49, when I finally found out that I actually have a slight bit of scoliosis in my lower back, which would explain why from time to time when I'd go heavy on squats, if I wasn't making sure that I had absolute perfect form, which you should every single time, I'd start to get a pain in that area. And I didn't find out later until a good friend of mine, Dr. Chris Tsai, who's an amazing chiropractor here in Burbank, did a x-ray on me because he was doing some adjustments, and he spotted out the scoliosis. And so it's kind of helped me really understand, over the years working with something like that, as well as being able to understand that, over the years you start to realize when you work with people that the human body is so complex, too, that nobody has a perfect infrastructure. Everybody has something wrong with them. Or I would even say there's something wrong. Everybody has a uniqueness to the way that their bones are set up, their spine, their hips, everything. And I'll get into that later, especially when we start talking about squatting. There's never one set way to squat. You need to be able to turn your perfect squat in by working within your range of motion, and we'll explain that later as we go on. So first I'm going to do like 15 or so. Get a good squeeze at the bottom. Big stretch. Oh, I lost count. That felt good. Okay. Now we're going to go over to leg press. My back and my midsection is killing me from over the past couple of days of working out. Deep stretch. So the object here I'm going for is getting that deep stretch into the knees and the quads. Go down as low as I can while keeping my heels connected. Get that stretch. And this is a great way, and I have to give this exercise credit for keeping my knee health over the years. It really does a wonderful job. When done properly, you gotta bring it all the way down, as low as you can go, while keeping your heel on. If you notice, I have the foot press is slightly slanted because I'm getting back my mobility into the knee and into the ankle. Ankles, plural. You always want to make sure that your low back is glued to that pad. Don't let your tailbone come up when you get low, because that's when you put it into a precarious position and you can hurt yourself. So you want to make sure that you glue that in. So when I get really low, I'm pulling myself into the seat to make sure I don't lift that tailbone up. Normally when doing this, you wouldn't want to talk because you want to keep your core engaged and stabilized so that you don't pop an intercostal muscle or hurt yourself. But we're not going heavy. I only have one 45-pound plate on each side. And then the base itself, the frame, is about 75 pounds. So it's not a lot. But again, just working on getting the knees opened up, getting the legs worked out. Whew. My body is sore. I'm on day 9, and it is painful. It's about 6 o'clock, 6:15 right now. I didn't have an early morning client. I was going to come in earlier and work out, but it was so cold and my body was so sore that I just hit the snooze button and I slept in for more. Actually, hit the snooze button, and on the second time, I set it back another hour or so. See, even for me who gets up early to train clients, it's very hard to get up and work out. That's something I'm working myself up to. So there'll be good days, there'll be bad days. We're gonna raise the weight on this a little. Go up another 20 more pounds. Good. very important. Make sure that you're not pronating your shoulders forward when you do this pull down. As your lats start to get tired and the muscles along your scapula, it's very easy to want to get your shoulders involved and start to push your shoulders forward and do this. Don't do that. If you get to that point, you're maxed out, you're tired. Stop. Try to keep that chest up, shoulders back. Keep everything on the emphasis on the lats and the muscles on your scapula, your shoulder blades. So another thing, and I mention this all the time, you gotta focus on every day just coming in and doing a little bit more and not worry about what you used to do. And trust me, you know, if you're at my age or of any age, right, you think about how much stronger or faster, how much more endurance you had when you were younger. And it can be disheartening when you think about it, but you gotta focus on the positives, the little changes you make every day. Losing just 1 pound, even if it's a few days to a week, focus on the positive. So many people get upset because they're not showing gains or changing their body as quickly as somebody on performance-enhancing drugs on Instagram. And you gotta stop comparing yourself to these people. Oh, that felt good. Oh. Doing all those low back extensions and then cable woodman chops has really got my core lit up. My low back, I think I need a new mattress, things like that. I feel it right now when I get up from this. Just starts to get really tight, but you know, I'll stretch it out. So that was the second set. I have one more set to go, and then we're gonna switch it up. Guys, I hope a lot of you who visit this channel end up joining and you do this journey with me. Again, the hashtag's always gonna be on every episode. It's hashtag #ForgedAfter50. Join, take video of yourself doing the workouts, just getting back in the gym. And anybody who's using the hashtag #ForgedAfter50 and joins the channel, again, I'm gonna have Q&As, I'll answer questions, help you out, basically give you free advice from training people for over 26 years here in Los Angeles, owning my own private studio, and the ins and outs of running a successful business. I also mentor a lot of trainers too, and I help them with their business. So if you are a trainer and you're looking to get into this and you're watching these videos and saying, hey, this is interesting watching this 26-year veteran do this, join. I'll be more than happy to answer questions on building business as well too. Any way that I can help out. I think nowadays, kind of giving to others is the thing that we all have to do in this current environment, and we all kind of help each other out and remember how that feels. Okay, I'm gonna go last set. Okay. Ooh. Going heavier. I do feel like my muscles are starting to engage better after 9 days, but I still got a chunk of stuff to deal with here, guys. But you know what? I think I dropped like 3 pounds. I'm happy. It's water, but it's still 3 pounds off my spine, and that's huge. Okay. I'm not gonna lie either. Last night, I had a cookie. I'm not gonna blame it on my wife or my son at home, but it was cookies left out on the counter. And I had such a tough day yesterday that I wasn't able to get all my meals in. And while I was cooking my other meal, I ended up having a cookie. But I'm not gonna beat myself up on it. I am just telling you because it's honest. And don't beat yourself up if you make a mistake. That's it. These things happen. It's just a cookie. It's not anything in the big picture of everything. But yeah, it was a good cookie. It was one of those Keebler fudge cookies. Whew. Weakness. Such a weakness. I think I'm going to have to start. One of the first things I need to start doing is getting some of my sugar-free treats that help me keep sane at night when the sugar hunger calls. And that's like sugar-free Jello pudding, those kind of things. Making like a Halo, the keto ice cream is good too. Just setting that up with some sugar-free whipped cream and fruit. You can make some great desserts. And when I'm really craving for something late at night, especially if I'm watching a movie or Netflix with Donna, my wife, that's when it hits, right? So make sure that you don't go into this without your weapons to combat those things so that you don't make massive mistakes and eat a ton of cookies. So things like sugar-free Jello pudding, sugar-free whipped cream, fruits, all those things help. Yep. Whew. Better. Okay. All right. First superset done. Let's hit the next one. Okay, guys, so I'm focusing a little bit more on legs today than I have on the other workouts. And I'm, again, just trying to get leg health, knee health back in. Not that I had any injuries from before. But I want to make sure that before I start doing back squats and everything, that all my legs, joints, ankle, knee, everything is feeling really good. So I'm going to start off here with some extensions. Try to get a good stretch. Leaning back. Good, and a good hold at the top. I like to flex it out a little bit. Get that time under tension. 3, 4. Really milk that stretch. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 40. Okay. Okay. I'm going to superset this with some calves. Nothing heavy on the calves. I've been fortunate. I've always had great calves, and I consider that to be very fortunate because the #1 plastic surgery for men is calves. Some people just can't grow them. But that being said, if you check out the earlier episodes, I am dealing with a really bad flare-up of plantar fasciitis, which is a tightening and injury of the plantar fascia, which is a strand, a muscle, a tendon that goes from the balls of your feet into your heel. And it's on my left side, this side here. And when it's inflamed, it can make your heel feel like you've got a tack or a knife in it. It's really painful. It's getting better. One of the best ways to do is massage it out with a tennis ball or a pressure point ball. But in doing so, when that happens, see, it's feeling good right now. If anything, I'm getting a stretch at the bottom, which is good. But I want to make sure that my ankle flexibility comes back, because that definitely affects your ability to back squat deep and to get into any of those type of any squat, but back squat especially if it's a high back squat. Good. So this is more so for working, or I'm using it for the ankle flexibility and strength, making sure I'm able to get that same depth in the range of movement. Oh. Whew, it's been a while since I worked calves. Oh. 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 Ah. Okay, that felt good. Oh. Getting up this morning was hard. It was really hard. I tried to get to bed earlier last night. I got to bed like around 11 o'clock, which probably by the time I passed out was 11:30. And then I set my alarm to come in here earlier. So I set my alarm at like 4:30. Yeah, that didn't happen. I wanted to get in here by like 5 so I could work out. But that was just too lofty, too crazy. Okay. I'm gonna pull this back a little bit more. I'm gonna go up 20 pounds. Second set. Okay, let's do it. It's not gonna lift itself. Good. I like to get a really deep stretch into these and milk it. Try to go as low as I can before not letting the weights touch. I like to press myself up against the pad rather than use the handles, because it allows me to get, I feel, a better lengthening of the quads. And remember, you always want to shoot for full range of motion, always steady and control. Oh. Oh, that's sore. Okay. All right, another set of calves. Let's go a little heavier. I'm probably gonna pay for this later. It's been a while since I worked calves. And when you haven't worked them in a while, and you start working them again, they will get tight on you. But like I mentioned before in the prior episode, get your electrolytes on. I know there's a lot of things that are out there that people say you gotta do. A lot of fitness gurus that say you gotta try this blend for mind focus and all that stuff, which I'm not saying it doesn't, but electrolytes really work. I prefer not getting my electrolytes from a sugary, caffeinated source, like a sport drink. I prefer just using those drops like I showed you. Just put them in the water. They're flavorless, but I actually feel like it makes your water taste better, like mineral-wise, like almost like you're drinking. Again, I'll use this as an example because it's my favorite bottled water if I have a choice. Like the Fiji water, it just tastes so good. So by getting in those electrolytes, it really helps prevent you from the number one thing that I love, prevents cramping too. So making sure that I have enough electrolytes. 3, prevents me from waking up with that god-awful cramping in your legs, or, yeah, I think legs are the only place that I ever felt it. 4, when you're sleeping at night, that is a horrible way to wake up. 5, so having the electrolytes, a steady stream of it in your body all day is awesome. And those electrolytes that I showed in the last episode, those are awesome, and they're not that expensive. You can order from Amazon. Relatively affordable. I mean, very affordable, relatively cheap. And I was skeptical about them until a nurse client of mine turned me on to them. And then I researched them, and a lot of doctors prescribe it for their patients that are very athletic or work out in the sun all day, things like that. Ooh, I'm gonna feel these. So notice my reps are always gonna be slower, more controlled, full range of motion, and that's the number one thing you should be focusing on. I feel like all ages should, but more so, especially if you're in your 50s, 40s, especially 60s, obviously. You want to focus, 1, on a full range of motion so that you're lengthening the muscle and getting a deep stretch into them while strengthening them, which is important. You don't want to just stay in limited ranges of motion that are going to cause your muscles to just tighten up and get very stiff without applying any due stretch to it that it deserves and needs. And you also want to be able to milk the movement. If you're going too quickly, you're using a lot of momentum. So the more controlled movement you're using, the more muscle you're using, the less momentum, the more positive benefits on your body. Excuse me, I need to grab my coffee. Going off camera for a second. Coffee is the only pre-workout I take right now. I don't think I can handle actually the pre-workouts that are out there. I hear about how strong they are, and I remember the days in the 90s when the pre-workouts first came out. You know, I grew up at my uncle's ranch, uncle's gym ranch, and my dad working out. The only thing was around was Joe Weider, right? But I loved those shakes, regardless of how chalky they were, because it gave me a chance to spend time with my dad and my uncle and all that. But in the 90s, they had like a lot of, we had like pure ephedra that came out for a pre-workout. And that was crazy, but the stuff they have now, I hear it's really a shocker. So honestly, I don't think my heart can handle that. So coffee is all I do. In fact, I can't even have coffee in the afternoon, because if I do, it'll mess with my sleep really bad. So that's what happens. For anybody who's younger in here, when you guys turn like 50, this is to let you know what's going on. Now, you don't have to go as slow as I do. You can obviously go a little bit less, but I'm trying to really feel the legs, feel the quads. If you notice, I'm actually going up faster when I go against the weight, and I'm coming down slower. So the motion pushing up against gravity and pushing against the weight is the concentric motion when you're contracting the muscle. When you're fighting and resisting it on the way down, it's the eccentric motion, also known as the negative portion of the lift. I like to focus on that negative portion and really milk it, but explode on the concentric so that you're also getting those fast twitch muscle fibers some work. And you're not really using momentum, pushing fast against the gravity if you're not bouncing or starting off from a momentous movement. Oh, this is painful. Oh, and I got a full work day today. So I'm gonna be here till like 6, 7 o'clock in the evening. Ooh, that's enough for me. Oh, so my legs are gonna feel pretty toasty. Okay, one last set of calves. Oh, I'm not gonna go up on this. Just like I didn't go up on that one, this one. Okay, I had a cookie last night. Don't beat yourself up, Scott. You're doing good so far. Day 9, you're getting in your workouts. Dropped a couple pounds. 4. It's a long journey, guys. But you know what? Each day, you just make one step in the right direction. That's what matters. They'll add up. The goal is to do the right things on the majority of times when faced with the situation, and all those things will add up. Don't be in such a rush to get to the end. I know we all want to, but the only way to keep this for life, and what I forgot since the lockdown and getting into a depressed state, is that you have to literally start to get yourself to enjoy the journey. Otherwise, you'll never maintain it. You'll never keep it. And it's just part of life. Okay, that's done. Got one more superset. Okay, guys, so I'm setting up for my last one. I haven't really focused on it that much since starting, but I'm gonna get into like an arm blaster today. Finishing off with third set, with 3 sets of an arm superset. So I'm going to start off with tricep pushdowns with a bar. And then I'm going to follow up with an incline deep stretch hanging bicep curl. That burns. Okay, these hurt like a motherfucker. All right, I'm not gonna go too crazy heavy on these. I'm gonna take it nice and easy. When I was younger, I used to love doing curls. You know, it's that thing, it shows off your arms. Young men love it. As I got older, it's just painful. Oh, okay. So again, minimizing momentum, not just letting it come down, bringing it up really quickly, focusing on that stretching. The eccentric portion is huge. Also, something to keep in mind, if you notice, I think I did like a little bit of biceps just to get the biceps moving, but I really didn't focus on arms, getting back into working out after not working out for a long time. And that's an important thing, I feel, because it's not completely necessary. In fact, I find that if you hit your arms too hard in the program, getting right back into working out or working out for the first time, it's actually detrimental to the rest of the body parts. So remember, you can't do anything you can't hit any of your upper big muscle parts unless you use your arms. And if you're doing back, whether it's pull downs, rows, any of those kind of motions, your secondary muscles you're using is your bicep, lots of your shoulders. So that's getting pumped. Tendons and ligaments are starting to wake up just doing back, right? If you're doing chest presses, shoulder presses, you're using your triceps as a secondary muscle, the muscle mover. So you don't necessarily really need to focus on that. If you focus on that first because you want to get your arms going, then if they're really tired and exhausted, or even worse, really sore, then it's going to limit your range of motion and your ability to do more loading and work on your bigger muscles of your back, chest, things like that. So I strongly suggest like what I'm doing, don't start adding in those arm muscles. If you haven't worked out in a long time, a couple years, whatever it may be, or if you're starting for the first time, until 2 weeks into the program, because then they're already getting moved around from moving the big muscle mover, big muscles like the back and chest. We're gonna go up a little bit, and second set. I have to hurry up. I got clients coming in a little bit. You may actually see one of them pop in. Again, milking that eccentric motion. In this exercise, the eccentric is resisting it on the way up. The concentric is pushing it down and contracting the muscles under force, because I'm fighting gravity by pushing it down and then locking it out. And then I'm slowly lowering the weight, the eccentric motion going up. Oh, yeah, that's good. If you notice, I'm not going to failure. At no point in the beginning do you see me go to failure. I'll go to a point where I'm like maybe 70% of what I can do. At the most, maybe 80 on some of these lifts, only because I just, again, waking up the body, getting it into it. The last thing I need to do is completely tire out my body. I'm going to go a little bit heavier with just 22 and a half pounds. I do like, since I opened up this studio, nowadays for the past couple of years, it's just been new. They start making dumbbells in 2.5 pound increments, which is huge. I love that. They should have been doing that all along, because it's not about having to jump up for, at least 5 pounds or 10 pounds or anything like that. Smaller increments make a huge difference, and you're right at that threshold. Oh shit, that hurt. Okay. Coffee. I know I mentioned this before, guys. I'm actually quite serious. I was talking to one of my clients the other day. These videos and you watching this is really helping me. It's really helping me focus and get back to what I love. It's not like I don't love what I do. I'm very blessed. I love training people all day. I love that I have a waiting list of people that want to train with me, that I've been able to change people's lives and create a legacy where I'm able to help people understand their bodies and get to a point where they can train themselves. And then when I see them a couple years down the road, they come by to say hi, we catch up. And it's an awesome feeling. But to lose that in yourself, it's a conundrum. And I think it's just, as you get older, yeah, it's a mixture of hormones, right? Or the lack of thereof, not producing as much testosterone, imbalances for women in estrogen, right? Just getting older, having different priorities. But health should always be a number one priority. For me to get like this, and I know if you take a look at my older videos from my older channels, I've gotten heavier, lost weight to show that you can do it, but it was always kind of an organized plan. This, how quickly my body, because I did those too, and I could get heavier because of my Hawaiian and German bloodline, my body really shot up quickly. And I tell you, doing 2 video series on how to drop weight in a certain amount of time in my 30s, one in my 30s, one in my 40s, has got my body very used to being able to pick up weight. And that's something that you should know. It's a very honest situation that if your body is used to flip-flopping or yo-yoing, it can actually get bigger really quickly. So you got to be careful. So when we were going through all that situation during the pandemic lockdown, and my wife and I, Donna and I, decided to just focus on the kids' mental well-being, their health, my mother and my brother and everybody, the family unit, the ohana as we call it in Hawaii, on making sure that we're all staying positive and making comfort food and such. It really kind of threw a wrench in the works for me. But, and I'm only starting to address that now, and it's been, what, almost 5 years? So what I found is that there's a lot of people like that in similar shoes. So if you get the chance to stop by this video, join me, make a stand. Dust off the shoes, bring out the shorts and the shirt, get your fucking ass to the gym, or do it at home, get some dumbbells. If you want some advice on the best things, the most affordable and economic things to do or get for home, to work out at home, just leave a comment on the video, and I'll be more than happy to set up a bunch of things that you can use that are economic and easy to set up and use. So we can always set that up. Hey, Eric, how's it going? And then I'll show you how to use it. And what to do. We can actually do like a video or a Q&A on that one. All right, last set. And I hear my other client coming in through the back. That would be Patty. All right. So that's it for today. Finished it up. 3 supersets. You saw the exercises that I was doing. This is day number 9. On my way to dropping 54 pounds in my 54th birthday in 8 months. Again, join the journey. Come with me, and we'll do it together. All right? Talk to you later, guys. Thanks.